Success begins with discipline, a truth Jim Rohn emphasized repeatedly throughout his teachings, because discipline is the bridge between dreams and accomplishments, between goals and achievements, between the desire to succeed and the reality of actually experiencing success. Many people wish for success. They dream about wealth, health, happiness, or meaningful relationships. But very few are willing to pay the price that success demands. And that price is discipline. Discipline means doing what you should do, when you should do it, whether you feel like it or not. And it is this daily practice of self-control that builds the foundation upon which all lasting success is constructed. Jim Rohn often said that success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day, while failure is simply a few errors in judgment repeated every day. And when you understand this principle deeply, you realize that your life is a result of your consistent patterns of discipline. If you choose discipline, you will gradually shape your future into the vision you hold for yourself. But if you choose ease, comfort, or procrastination, you will drift toward mediocrity or even regret, because the lack of discipline compounds just as surely as discipline does. To build discipline, one must start with clarity of purpose. Jim Rohn explained that without strong reasons, without a powerful why, discipline feels like punishment. But with a vision that excites you, discipline feels like the pathway to freedom. For instance, waking up early to work on your goals may feel painful in the beginning, but when your vision is to create financial independence, contribute to others, or live a life of meaning, then that morning alarm clock becomes not an enemy, but a friend, because it gives you the time to build what matters. Discipline begins in the small choices of daily life, choosing to read a book instead of scrolling endlessly on social media, choosing to exercise rather than indulging in laziness, choosing to save money instead of spending it recklessly, choosing to practice gratitude instead of complaining. And each of these choices, though they seem insignificant, accumulate into powerful results over time. Jim Rohn often reminded us that success is neither magical nor mysterious. It is the natural consequence of consistently applying basic fundamentals, and those fundamentals are only maintained through discipline. Consider the farmer. He cannot plant seeds one day and expect to harvest the next, but through the discipline of planting, watering, nurturing, and waiting, eventually the harvest comes. In the same way, success in business, health, relationships, or personal growth requires daily discipline. There is no shortcut, no magic formula, only the consistency of effort, guided by vision and corrected by reflection. Discipline also involves the mastery of habits, because habits are the automatic patterns that shape our destiny. If you develop the discipline to create good habits, such as reading daily, exercising regularly, saving consistently, practicing gratitude, and managing your time wisely, then these habits will take over and carry you forward even when motivation is low. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline stays. Motivation is like a spark, but discipline is the firewood that keeps the fire burning through the night. Jim Rohn insisted that if you want to change your life, you must change your daily disciplines, because your life does not get better by chance, it gets better by change. And change comes through deliberate practice of better habits. For example, if you discipline yourself to learn a new skill for just 1 hour every day, over a year, that adds up to 365 hours, which is the equivalent of more than 9 full-time work weeks devoted solely to personal growth. And that kind of discipline separates you from the average person who spends those same hours in distraction. Discipline is the great equalizer. You may not be the most talented, the smartest, or the luckiest, but if you are disciplined, you can outlast, outgrow, and eventually outperform those who rely solely on talent or chance. Discipline creates reliability, and reliability builds trust with yourself and with others, and trust is the currency of success. When you trust yourself because you know you will follow through on your commitments, you build confidence. And when others trust you because they know you are disciplined, you build credibility. And with credibility comes influence, opportunities, and growth. Another vital point Jim Rohn taught is that discipline should not be viewed as restriction, but as freedom. Most people misunderstand discipline as something that takes away their liberty, but in reality, it is the opposite. Lack of discipline leads to bondage. Bondage to debt, to poor health, to regrets, to missed opportunities, while discipline creates freedom. Because discipline in finances creates financial freedom. Discipline in health creates physical freedom. Discipline in learning creates intellectual freedom. And discipline in relationships creates emotional freedom. Freedom is not the absence of rules, but the result of self-imposed structure. For instance, a musician who disciplines himself to practice scales every day eventually gains the freedom to express himself beautifully on stage, while a person who avoids discipline never gains mastery and is confined by his limitations. Success always hides behind the door of discipline, and only those willing to pay the price of consistent effort can open that door. Jim Rohn also connected discipline with responsibility. He explained that success is not something you pursue, it is something you attract by becoming a disciplined person. You cannot control the economy, the weather, or other people, but you can control your attitude, your habits, your discipline, and when you take responsibility for these, you gain power over your life. Many people wait for the right circumstances before taking action, but disciplined people create the right circumstances through consistent effort. For example, a disciplined student doesn't wait until exam season to start studying. He prepares daily, and when the exam arrives, he is confident and ready. Similarly, a disciplined entrepreneur does not wait for luck, but steadily builds skills, networks, and systems so that when opportunity knocks, he is ready to open the door. Discipline also requires self-respect and self-worth. As Jim Rohn said, if you don't care enough to discipline yourself, you show a lack of respect for your own potential. Discipline is a demonstration of self-love because it means you are willing to endure short-term discomfort for long-term gain. Think of exercise. It may be uncomfortable to push your body in the gym, but it is an act of respect for your health and future. Discipline is doing for yourself today what your future self will thank you for it tomorrow. It is a silent but powerful promise you make to yourself that you are worthy of growth, success, and fulfillment, and therefore you will not sabotage your progress with laziness or negligence. Jim Rohn often used the seasons as a metaphor. You cannot change the seasons, but you can change yourself. Life brings winters of hardship, springs of opportunity, summers of growth, and autumns of harvest. And in each season, discipline is required. In winter, discipline means enduring, not giving up when things are tough. In spring, discipline means planting as much as possible, seizing opportunities. In summer, discipline means protecting your crop from pests, guarding what you have built. And in autumn, discipline means harvesting everything you worked for, not leaving anything behind. Life cycles demand discipline because without it, you will miss the planting, neglect the protection, or fail to harvest, and then wonder why your results are poor. Finally, Jim Rohn reminded us that discipline is not a one-time act, but a lifelong practice. You cannot be disciplined once and expect permanent success. You must renew discipline daily. It is like bathing. You cannot take one shower and be clean forever. Discipline is something you choose each morning, in each decision, in each challenge. The good news is that discipline gets easier the more you practice it. Just as muscles grow stronger with exercise, your willpower grows stronger with consistent use. Over time, what once felt difficult becomes natural, and discipline transforms from a struggle into a way of life. In conclusion, success begins with discipline is more than a phrase. It is the very essence of Jim Rohn's philosophy. Discipline is the foundation of all achievement, the bridge between goals and reality, the tool that transforms dreams into tangible results. Without discipline, talent is wasted, opportunities are missed, and potential is left unrealized. With discipline, even the most ordinary person can create extraordinary results. Because discipline compounds, building momentum that leads to mastery,